and broaden people's understanding of sexuality in order to help people heal from sexual trauma, heal from the porn industry, heal their broken relationships. And what ends up happening is that, a lot of these big social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram are flagging us and taking some of our posts down because we've either used the word sex or we've used the word orgasm. I mean, it's almost, it's just unbelievable. I was censored for this one post, and I went in to read the kind of things that they would censor people for, and I was, in essence, kind of compared to a terrorist. That was just one of the other things that they would censor for. So sexuality and terrorism. And there were some other things there too, but I was just, I grabbed my head and I was thinking to myself, I'm being compared, somebody who's trying to bring healing into the world around our sexuality. And I am essentially being compared to a terrorist. And I also wanted to talk about something that's been brought to my attention recently. And I really didn't know so much about, to be perfectly honest. But it's called sex positive or feminist porn. And I find this interesting. It's really porn that talks about creating clear boundaries and creating consent, and also is really interested in genuine female pleasure and the fair treatment of women. So this is actually very interesting that this kind of porn is starting to be created. I haven't seen any of it myself, but I find it interesting, and I think it's obviously a very good pushback to, of course, the violent porn and the porn that's really miseducating people that are watching it and creating a very warped sense of what healthy sexuality is. But of course, this is also creating controversy, and people really aren't sure what to make of it. Some people think that porn should be eliminated altogether. But the actual reality is that porn is an industry that earns $12 billion in annual revenue. Okay, so let's just sit on that for a second. $12 billion in annual revenue, which is actually more than ABC, CBS, and NBC combined. So I don't think this industry is going to go away. I mean, this is obviously something that people are interested in consuming. But I think the question is if we can revamp and change the messages that porn is sending out, and if it can really be more sex positive, if it can teach how to create clear boundaries, what consensual sex is, and what genuine female pleasure is, I think that would be an amazing thing, because it's clear, I think, to everybody that this is an industry that is being supported because people want to consume it. So if people are consuming it, we might as well revamp it and change the way that people feel about it. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear from you. If you want to reach out and write to me. What is your take on porn? Are you struggling with it? Are you facing an addiction with porn? Is this kind of the first time that you're hearing about another way to creating a different type of sexual encounter? Is this totally foreign to you, or is this something that you have experienced or that you're interested in experiencing on a deeper level? So I'd be really interested to hear from you on that. And I know that there are a lot of people in the porn industry that are seeking healing, or at least struggling if they're not seeking healing, especially the women. And of course, if you feel the calling to heal yourself, to at least start the process of healing, you can feel free to reach out to me. I love working with women and also with couples. And yeah, it's a very, very deep process to start working on some of these traumas, which are similar, I think, to having experienced sexual trauma in the form of rape. And I think the line is very thin between somebody who's been in the porn industry and somebody who's experienced rape, because after watching this video, of this woman who had been in the porn industry and really seeing her pain and how physically harmful the industry was to her sexual organs, I can't imagine, what she's going through emotionally and how she's dealing with what was done to her and what she allowed really to be done to her through this industry. So I think it's really important to create more awareness around the porn industry. And, when you're consuming that, there's somebody there on the other end that is really being traumatized. And if we can turn this $12 billion industry into something that teaches our youth how to be more loving, how to be more gentle, how to really pleasure a woman, then I think that we would be doing a great service to the world. And I think that relationships would really start to improve, because so much of what's going on in relationships, what's not going well in relationships, is related to sexuality. And a lot of that also has to do with what people are absorbing through porn. So some food for thought. Next time you consume porn, maybe think about this podcast. And if there's anything you can do on your end to try to change the way that sexuality is being portrayed online, I think you would be doing a huge service to the world. So if you want to reach out to me about any of this, feel free. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for taking the time to be with us on Divine Couples. You can feel free to check us out at www.divine-couples.com. You can also visit our social media page on Instagram is @divine.couples. And you can also feel free to reach out to me via email. Just send me an email, info@divine-couples.com. And it's just wonderful to be able to communicate with you guys, so really don't hesitate. If you have any questions or comments, just get in touch. Thanks so much for joining us on Divine Couples. I am your host, Naomi Slater.
Join us next time to continue your journey in exploring the depths of your life force energy. Until then, this has been your host, Naomi Slater. If you have any more questions on this subject, feel free to reach out. Follow her on Instagram at divine.couples. And to see all of her offerings, visit her website at theworldwideweb.divine-couples.com.